Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Wilds War Cry. I am your host, Stephen Wilds. Alright, so we have a lot of news. We're going to get started. Good thing is it seems to be kind of spread out this week. First off, TNA. They had a great triple threat tag team match. If you missed it, actually I think it was worth watching. Their tag team divisions and actually some more tag team stuff I'm going to talk about later. Both been very good lately. The tag team division is something you need to kind of keep the action going. You want really good matches to sell that division and, memorable teams. And right now, TNA is getting some more memorable teams. I really like the Wolves. They're golden right now. They're having good matches. So, Rhino appeared. I've got to say, I was just more shocked. I was like, oh, it's Rhino. It's not like I didn't know he was still wrestling, but somehow I had missed the spoiler that he showed up, thankfully. And then, his turn was, I don't want to say it was completely unexpected, but, for a split second, I was like, okay, because I thought they were getting ready to kind of put a cap on this whole plot line between Bully Ray and Dixie anyway, and I thought that would have kind of sped it along or whatever, but as I was talking to Ulysses the other day, I hope this isn't going to go on for too much longer, because I'm afraid it's going to get stale if it does. Right now it's at a really good point where capping it off with a good ending could do something really nice, but I don't know. This was a bit unexpected, though. It was kind of nice to see. Glad Rhino, he's not in the best shape, but he still looks like he can move, so let's see how that works out. There was a very fun Knockouts title match, and I want to see what they do with the switch and everything. It was entertaining, and I like Gail Kim, so we'll see what happens. On to NXT. I had a lot of little stuff to say about this, but I really just want to cap it off with saying, again, as far as tag teams go, Big Cass and Enzo Amore. I really like that group. Now that Enzo's back, it looks like they're getting ready to put him back in action. I want to see what they do with him. Enzo's a good wrestler, so, and Cass isn't bad at all. So seeing both of them together, I think it's something that could be pretty cool. SmackDown was okay. It was there's a lot of rehash on SmackDown these days, and I find myself skipping a ton because it's recap, and I get tired of that bullshit. I really wish WWE would kind of cut out a lot of their recap, but it was an entertaining show. There wasn't anything specifically bad, but at the same time there wasn't anything that really stood out. Raw. On Raw, one of the first things I noticed, I was like, oh, they're starting the show with Roman Reigns, and then we got to see Fit Finlay come out and take a spear. And also a Jamie Noble sighting, and there were a couple others, people I recognized, but I don't remember off the top of my head right now. But, people you've seen before in the back, so that was kind of neat. Again, just to kind of seal this one, great tag team match between the Usos and the Wyatt family right now. And this may actually be my favorite feud right now, because all of their matches have been great. They have really done their homework. They're moving well. I don't know. All four guys are good workers, and even though I think I've said this before, Rowan's probably the weak man in the link right there, but even he's doing well, and I don't know. I'm really enjoying that feud, and it's probably the more feuds I'm invested. I know eventually they're going to lose, but I kind of just waiting to see when they pull the trigger, and I'm kind of happy right now because we're getting really good matches up until then. The Alicia Fox match with Nikki Bella. Actually, I'm going to call that a segment and not a match, because what happened was, if you didn't see it, was they were supposed to both get their arms tied behind their back, and then Fox waited until Bella had her arm tied and then started attacking her. Not to go for alliteration here, but it gave a real ferocity to Fox and kind of added a little bit to her character, because she's doing the insane thing, but I also wanted to see a little bit more of a fierceness, because I know Alicia Fox can wrestle, so it's nice to see kind of this side of her come out a little bit more. I hate that the crowd was chanting boring during this. I mean, they're trying new stuff, They at least gave them the Divas something to do, and it wasn't some stupid, dance competition or just wasted segment. They're letting them wrestle, and they're letting them try to build, interesting story arcs. This whole Nikki being punished for Brie and all that, I mean, it could go somewhere. I'm not saying it will, but it could do something kind of cool. So I hate that the fans, you hear it all the time. It's like, oh, well, here's the bathroom break. No, you know what? Maybe it's just me, but I sit there. I try to watch the women's wrestling too, try to analyze it. There's a lot of good stuff there. And people, are just so quick to kind of disregard it. But at least they're trying. It was nice to see something kind of different. As far as Seth Rollins goes, the last match with Cena was kind of cool. It was neat. It made Rollins actually look a little bit better than he has in the past couple matches, because the man's an amazing worker, but it gave him a little bit of chance to show off against John Cena. Rollins will probably hold on to that case for a while. I think it was Sunday Segway or somebody asked, if they thought he would cash it in and win. And I think he will. I think when he does cash it in, he will win. But I think it's going to be a while, knowing the WWE's plans. He'll probably hold on to it for at least another 6 months after summer, easily. The thing about that is, I love that Ambrose keeps coming down and interrupting him, but they're going to have to get kind of creative, depending on how long they want to keep that going, to keep it interesting. And I think they know that. The question is, will they be able to do it and succeed? Because this, this Rollins-Ambrose thing could be, again, one of the best feuds currently right now. And just to make sure I mention it, Wyatt Jericho is going to be good too. But, right now this is something that the creative really needs to focus on and make sure they don't mess up. One of the big things for summer to keep fans interested through summer was Rollins turning on the Shield, and I think they need to put a lot of attention towards that to figure out exactly the best way to go about that. So, for those of you who may not have seen, Santino Marella is retiring. I don't know why WWE didn't give him a little bit of time to do it on live television. I guess it's not that big of a deal. I mean, he was a mid-carder. I'm going to tell you this. If you've never seen some of his past stuff with his Russian gimmick and some of the stuff he's done, he wasn't the greatest in-ring talent, but he could go, and he was a good storyteller. And I think, although the gimmick that he had isn't necessarily a bad one, it's one that people have used before, I would have really loved to see them give him some type of character swap. And I think we're still going to see him around because he's just basically retiring from in-ring competition. But I would have loved to see more with Santino. I think he could have done a lot more. Kind of feels like a waste. Petey Williams is also retiring, and if you have never seen some Petey Williams matches, go to Google, look up Petey Williams TNA matches, X Division, all the stuff when he was with Team Canada. He does the Canadian Destroyer, and it's awesome. He's just an amazing wrestler, and I hate that he's retiring, but he's been at it for a while, and I can imagine it's kind of taking a toll on his body. So good luck to him, wherever he lands after this career. And the big news, of course, that has kind of come out this week, recently actually, is that Kurt Angle has turned down his next contract with TNA. He actually is not going to sign that contract. And he's pretty much told Jim Ross that, he realizes he's getting close to the end and he wants his last stint to be in the right place. Now, he didn't specifically say that right place was WWE. Likely, yes. Is it going to be in-ring with WWE, or is it going to be more of an official position, kind of like what he's doing right now, where he's an on-air character? I really hope it is in-ring, at least for one more match, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think WWE would be very willing, of course, to talk to him. I don't think there's going to be any problems there. I'm interested to see what happens. He had a great run in TNA. He had some great matches. I don't know exactly how long he's going to be there. I was looking up through some of the contract stuff, and I found a couple of different dates, actually. So I'm not sure exactly when he's going to be leaving. But before he goes, I almost really hope they develop this thing between him and Samoa Joe just a little bit further, because when I first started watching TNA, that was the big rivalry, was Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe. And I know it's been a big one for a lot of people who watch TNA off and on. So we'll see how it goes, but when he comes back to WWE, we can get the "You Suck" chants going again. It'll all be good. My question for the week is, Dean Ambrose has this move that he does where he goes and he hits the rope, and he goes about halfway through the middle rope, and he bounces off of it and does a clothesline. And I want to know, do you guys like that move, or does it look bad, or what do you think about that move? Because it's probably the most interesting piece of his offense I've seen, and so I'm interested in everybody else's opinion on it. But until next time, this has been the Wild's War Cry. If you want to comment on anything I've said or talk to me about something that I didn't mention this week, please feel free to comment on the site, on this video, or find me on Twitter at Stephen Wilds. Until next time, take it easy.